we have already covered the part 1, where we have seen why there is a need of protection of generator or alternators. AC generators are also called as alternators, and since we generally deal with the AC, therefore sometimes generators are also referred as alternators. So please don't get confused with the terms. Also in the part 1 we have covered the various faults that occur in the generator, and also in the part 1 we have seen whether an automatic protection is required in that particular fault or not. For those who haven't watched the part 1, I recommend them to watch part 1 so that they can get a sound knowledge of why protection of generator is needed and what are the faults that generally occur in generators. You can go to the YouTube channel of Engineering College Banswara. Here you will be able to find the part 1 of generator protection. Here in this part 2 we will be covering the points like bias differential protection, earth fault protection and negative sequence protection. These are basically the protection techniques applied to the generator so as to tackle the faults that occur in generators. We will be discussing them one by one. Starting our lecture with first technique, that is bias differential protection. You may have heard this protection technique in case of transformers also and in case of induction motors also. This is also known by the term Merz price protection, or sometimes you must have referred as bias percentage differential protection. Such type of protection schemes in case of generators are used for stator windings against short circuit faults. Differential protection, as the name suggests, works on the difference of the actuating quantity. Here the relay will be operating under the difference of the actuating quantity. It is based on the circulating current principle, which states that all the incoming current must be equal to the outgoing current, and hence the sum of the incoming and outgoing current must be equal to 0. If the sum is not equals to 0, it states that a fault has occurred, and thus this principle is used for bias differential protection. Here, under normal condition, the current, the incoming and the outgoing current will be equal to 0, and our relay will not be getting any current, means the relay current in this case will be equal to 0. But when a fault occurs, this current, the relay current, will not be equal to 0, and hence if this current so obtained in relay is greater than its pickup value, a relay command will be issued to the circuit breaker to trip off the connections. As already stated, the difference of the currents under fault conditions is arranged so that the operating coil of the relay gets activated. Here in this figure, which is showing the star connected stator winding of alternator protected with the help of the bias differential protection. These three are the star connected alternator stator windings. This is connected in star, as you can see in the figure. A common point is there, neutral, earthing. Here in this case, CTs are placed on both sides of the windings. As you can see in the figure, CT construction this side and CT construction this side. These are also arranged in star, and with the help of the pilot wires, 3 pilot wires, operating and restraining coils are arranged. The restraining coil is used so that the relay does not get operated during normal condition and also get operated when the pickup value of that particular relay is achieved under fault condition. The relays, the CTs here are connected in star, and therefore we have also obtained the CT neutral earthing. When the neutral point of winding, that is stator winding, is available, then the CTs we have connected can be connected in star, as you can see in the figure, on the both phase outgoing side and the neutral side. This is the neutral side of the alternator and this is the phase going side of the alternator. Both the CTs placed on both sides of the stator windings are connected in star therefore. Similarly, if we see the delta connected stator winding, here you will see the difference in the CT this side, as delta connected alternator stator winding is always preferred. The means the CT connection used here is also delta connected, whereas the phase outgoing sides are connected in star. Here one neutral earthing is obtained, whereas in the star connected stator winding we have obtained the two neutral earthing points. This RC represents the restraining coil, OC represents the operating coil and CB represents the circuit breaker. Please note that the CT connections are arranged suitably for comparing the current with the generator ground point. And hence we need to consider what type of connection is done in stator windings of alternator, whether star or whether delta. The restraining coils are arranged from the secondary connection of CTs in each phase through the pilot wire you have already seen. The operating coils are energized by the tappings from the restraining coil. Restraining coil and operating coils. Operating coils are connected in the midpoint of the restraining coils. The relay here used is of electromagnetic type, plus it have a feature of instantaneous action, means as soon as the fault occur they get operated. There is no delay in the operation. This particular scheme, biased protection scheme, is applied for protection of stator winding against face-to-face and face-to-ground faults. If by chance this stator winding fault is not clear, it may lead to stator coil burning, and this burning may build the insulation failure also. Advantages of such scheme is high speed operation, permits low fault setting, ensure complete stability under severe external faults or through faults. Here we do not require CT with air gap or any special balancing feature. In this bias differential protection, we need to understand that if the force or the torque applied on the operating coil is greater than restraining coil, then only the relay gets operated, whereas if the operating coil torque is less than the restraining coil torque, then the relay will not get operated. Earth fault protection of generators. Generators which are directly connected to the transmission or distribution system are generally equipped with the earth fault relay for protection of earth fault. Earth fault protection can be obtained by a relay to measure the transformer secondary current by connecting a voltage measuring relay in parallel with the root. Here you can see that the transformer secondary current is obtained here in the earth fault protection. We have applied a relay to measure the transformer secondary current by connecting a voltage measuring relay. This is the voltage measuring relay which is in parallel to your load. Earth fault protection is generally divided into two: restricted earth fault protection and unrestricted earth fault protection. Restricted earth fault protection. When neutral is grounded through earth resistance, means when stator windings are grounded with the help of the earth resistance, then the stator windings are not fully protected, only partially protected, as the portion that is protected depends upon the what value of earth resistance we have taken plus the relay setting conditions. The value of earth resistance, relay setting and current rating of the earth resistance therefore need to be carefully selected in restricted earth fault protection. Although the earth faults are very rare near the neutral point, but if they occur, the insufficient voltage, so as the voltage of the neutral point with respect to earth is very low and therefore insufficient voltage is produced. As a result, low fault current, and this fault current cannot be measured with the help of relay. Since this fault current is very less than the pickup current of the relay coil, and in this case the relay will not get activated, therefore some part of the generator windings still remain unprotected, and therefore since a restricted portion of a generator winding is only protected, therefore this type of protection is known as restricted earth fault protection. We generally prefer that 85% of the windings get protected, whereas the 15% of windings remains unprotected. This is the general practice we adopt. Here, if we talk about the schematic arrangement of restricted earth fault protection, this is the generator stator winding connected in star and grounded with the help of the earth resistance. The earth fault relay is connected here. This is the restricted earth fault relay. If a fault occurs, suppose on point X, and this VBX is large enough that a large current is produced which can achieve the pickup value of the relay, then the earth fault relay will operate in this case. But if this fault point is very nearer to your neutral point, then that specific voltage, suppose here a point Y, the VBY voltage is not sufficient enough to produce a fault current that can achieve a pickup value, and in that case this portion of windings remain unprotected, whereas this portion of windings get protected in case of a fault occurring here. So we need to understand that only a small portion of the windings remain unprotected, and as said, it is a general practice that 85% of windings get protected, and therefore we need to take care of the value of earth resistance taken. To overcome this, if the relay setting is chosen very low, if we have chosen the relay setting very low to make it insensitive to low fault current, suppose we have taken the relay pickup value very low, this may result into mal-operation of the relay, as it can get operated under the conditions of heavy through faults, inaccurate CT, or when CT gets saturated. Therefore, it's not practicable to make the relay setting very low, and hence we choose a practice where 15% of the windings is left for unprotected and 85% of the winding is protected. As already stated, the earth resistance value is of great importance, as higher the value of the resistance are, less is the earth fault current. Since resistance is high, obviously the earth fault current will be less, but in this case more percentage of winding remains unprotected, large percentage of winding remains unprotected. Also, we need to understand that if the earth resistance value is taken very low, then the fault current is very high, which is not practicable. So So we need to consider the earth fault resistance value in a very effective manner so that the fault current is not high, plus the majority of the winding, percentage winding, remains protected. Here, what percentage of winding remains protected for a particular hour is calculated. If we take V as a full line to neutral voltage, I as a full load to largest capacity of generator, and R is the value of the earth resistance, which will determine what percentage of winding will remain protected and what percentage of winding will remain unprotected. Here we can calculate the value of resistance R with the percentage of the windings which remains unprotected is given by, here I naught is the minimum operating current, which is equal to the 15% of the full load current. Here means I naught is calculated as 15% of I, full load current. If we have taken the relay setting, it can change also. We can take 20, 25 according to the question or according to the manufacturer specified. So the I naught will be equal to 15% of your full load current, and therefore we can get the percentage of the winding which remains unprotected in case of this resistance. Unrestricted earth fault protection. Since the name specified here unrestricted, which means that the protective zone is not definite, here the three CTs are connected in parallel in each phase, which is then supplying the residual current to the operating coil. This is known as your earth fault relay. IRS, IYS and IBS. These are the CT secondary currents. The relay current will be equal to this vector sum of the three secondary currents. During normal operation or normal condition, the vector sum of the line current, the three line current, will be equal to 0, and therefore the vector sum of the three secondary current flowing through the CT will also be equal to 0, and therefore the relay will not be carrying any type of current, and thus it remains inoperative under normal condition or no fault state. Whereas during earth fault condition, this balance will get disturbed, and hence this relay will no longer be equal to 0, and this will, if this relay current is more than the pickup value of your earth fault relay, then the relay will operate and open the circuit breaker. Negative sequence protection. We have already seen such type of protection applied in case of induction motor too. We know that unbalanced supply voltage leads to production of negative sequence current, which are very harmful. The negative sequence current so produced as a result of unbalanced supply voltage leads to overheating of the windings, which can cause insulation failure or short circuit fault. Therefore, negative sequence protection is must in case of generators. Thus, negative sequence filters are used to detect the negative sequence component. There are many types of filters developed. Here we will be seeing one of such type of filter. As you can see in the figure, a impedance bridge network is connected. The impedance Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4, each having equal magnitude. The Z1 and Z3 impedances are purely resistive, whereas the impedance Z2 and Z4 are combination of resistance and reactance. An operating coil relay is also placed in the middle, whose impedance is negligible as compared to the Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4. Also, the arrangement is made in such a way that the current produced in the network Z2 and Z4, means the current so produced in impedance Z2 and Z4, that is the current I3 and I2, will lag the current produced in impedance Z1 and Z3 by an angle of 60 degree. Three CTs are also placed in the three phases R, Y, B, which are then supplied to this bridge network. The R phase CT at point junction A will equally divide the current CT secondary current into two, I1 and I2. And as said, the I2 current will lag the I1 by an angle of 60 degree. In the same way, the CT secondary current from phase B will at point C will get distributed equally into I3 and I4. Here, I3 current will lag the current I4 by an angle of 60 degree. The relay current here will be equal to IY, which is the CT secondary current of phase Y, plus I3 current flowing through Z2 impedance and I1 current flowing through the impedance Z1. Means the relay current will be combination or sum of IY, I3 and I1. If this relay current is equal to 0, which denotes that the relay operating coil will be getting zero current, which is a case of normal the Z2 and this are already discussed. The current through relay at junction B already discussed. It will be a sum of I1, I3 and IY. For when positive sequence current flow or when case of normal operation where no negative sequence component are flowing, there the relay current will be equal to 0. Whereas when negative sequence current flow, the relay will operate as the I1 current will be equal to I3 and the relay current will get equal to IY current, which is the CT secondary current of phase Y. The network so adopted for detecting negative sequence current component can also be used for detecting zero sequence component current. Here, the relay current when zero sequence component flows will be equal to twice the zero sequence current, as I1 plus I3 is equal to IY. Here, the relay current will be twice the zero sequence current, which will trigger the relay, and thus the relay becomes operative and will further command the circuit breaker to trip the connections. We can also make the relay only sensitive for negative sequence current by connecting the CTs in delta. As we know that in delta no zero sequence current can flow, therefore we have restricted the relay only sensitive for negative sequence current. Here are some of the references from where the content has been taken to prepare the slides. For concluding remarks, we know that generator is called heart of our power system, and for proper functioning of our electrical power system, generator need to work in an efficient manner. Also, the generator is a costly device, and thus its protection becomes an utmost important for us. Since this is the generating unit of our electrical power system, it becomes necessary and desirable to protect generator for continuity of supply, for maintaining continuity of supply. In this video, we have mentioned some of the protection techniques that are generally applied for generator protection. Thank you. That's it from my side. For more videos, please stay connected and subscribe the channel.